came across the U.S. in covered wagons.
Yeah. And but you know what? I'm not naive to the fact that through religion have come a lot of atrocities.
They've killed 200 million.
Yeah, I think anyone who says otherwise would be doing a disservice to God himself and to any religious organization or practice. I think you mentioned Hitler. I think that's a prime example of how something that is meant to be and do good can be hijacked and used for selfish purposes.
That's why I like separation of church and state. Anytime a political platform endorses a specific religion or ideology, that's where we get communism, Nazism, and really bad forms of socialism, like fascism. Yeah. But narcissists love to use religion to create, and monarchies like this, the divine right of rule, which is why our country started. We did not want a king.
Oh, right.
And Hitler used Christianity to make the Germans complicit to the final solution. We all know what that is. So just because someone says God or Jesus, that's when I start running the other way, because I know history.
Yeah.
I know what McCarthyism is.
But I also think, if I feel like if you throw Hitler in there, you have to throw in the rest, like Mussolini, Mao, and their motivations weren't necessarily religious, but it definitely came from a authoritative. What do they call them? Yeah, like
Dictators?
Yeah, dictator, authoritarian. There we go.
Yep.
An authoritarian ideology that wasn't necessarily religious, but that produced either equal or far more.
I think that's why America overall hates humanists and atheists, because back in the 1950s, they thought that communists were atheists, which isn't always true. And they thought America would be taken over by the communists due to, if you don't believe in God, you must be a communist.
Oh, I can definitely see the far right, how that gets pushed. But then that defeats the entire purpose of having free will, I think, under the same doctrine. And I do fundamentally believe that we were created with free will to do as we please within, I would hope within some sort of moral boundaries. That doesn't always play out. But again, I think that goes into people who are naive or just pick and choose what applies to them as it relates to their religion.
I think a lot of it is ignorance. I read somewhere that 9 out of 10 people could not pass the citizenship test.
Yeah, it probably is. And I'll throw my parents in there. My parents had the education of a middle schooler, and that's,
I mean, I don't think it's just education. I think it's if the desire to constantly learn dies and you believe anything you're taught or everything someone says, I think that's dangerous too.
That's fair.
But I'm always learning.
Yeah, that's fair. I appreciate that.
All right, have a great weekend. Stay safe.
You too.